Hi everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. Thank you very, very much for joining me today. This is what I've been making today, and I am right outside of my comfort zone. Now, normally I am the queen of complicated. I like to use a lot of different techniques. I very rarely make a card that doesn't have a die cut on it somewhere. I love getting grungy and messy and taking a long time over a project. So my videos are usually aimed at somebody who has been crafting for quite some time and probably has a lot of the kit that they need, to try and make something similar to what I'm making. But today, all I've used is card, ink, and stamps. So it's a simple stamping project. Couldn't let it go without a technique, so this is the faux torn paper technique. Very easy to do. All you need is card, stamps, and ink. Here's my card base. It's thick very vanilla and it's 4 inches across by 11.5 inches, and I've scored and folded it at 5 3/4 of an inch, and I've taped it down to my craft mat with some low tack tape, and I'm just going to protect the top half, which is going to be the back of my card, with a bit of common or garden copy paper. Alright, so that's just to stop things, me getting ink where I don't want to, because I'm absolutely famous for doing that. So with the other half of this piece of paper, I'm going to tear about 1/3 of the way up, and I'm going to try and create some interesting shapes as I do. I'm going to try and make it quite interesting, and I'm not really worrying too much about controlling it. So I'm going to mask off the lower part of the card here. And this is the same technique that I did with the colour blending card that I did a couple of weeks ago. And just, so let's turn that around. So that's how it tore off. And actually I'm going to do a bit more tearing with this one, I want it to have a different shape to the bottom piece. There we go. That's more kind of what I had in mind. So I'm going to tape this down again with my low tack tape, and I've run out of pre-cut pieces, so just bear with me for a second while I cut another piece. Is that how I want it? You see, I can adjust things. I can make that a little bit wider, just like that. Okay, so happy with that. One more piece. I'm going to be using this stamp, which is called Sheet Music. Now, it's a very big stamp. That's actual size. And what I normally do when I'm using a stamp like this is that I put the stamp onto my table face up, and then I put my paper on top of it. Well, because I'm doing all of this masking off work today, I can't actually do that. And I then realised I had another problem, because I don't have a block that's big enough for the stamp. Because I never bought one, because in my head I was always going to use these upside down, and the blocks are quite costly because they're very, very big. So what is to do? So I had a little bit of lateral thinking, and I've stuck my box to the back of the stamp case, and I'm hoping that this is going to work. We're going to find out together. So I'm going to ink this up well with early espresso ink, and I'm being quite firm with it because I think this ink pad needs a little bit of a re-inking, and I'm going to get one shot of this. The other thing I could have done, of course, is I could have used my Stamparatus. But because this is going to be a simple stamping project, I didn't really want to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to hover, come down on top of my card, and I am going to press. And I stuck this to the back of the case so that I could see through it. And I'm working with the CD case open because that way I can get a lot of pressure onto my stamp. And I don't know why I'm pressing in the corners, because you're not going to be able to see that. It's this bit here that I really want to be inking well. Okay, so fingers crossed. Let's see what we've got. Oh, and that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. All right. So I could leave that just as it is. Excuse me while I close the early espresso ink so I don't put my finger in it. But I am actually going to, I want to add a little bit more colour to it. So I've got my, I don't want to take it direct from there. I've got some So Saffron ink here. And I'm starting off the card, and I'm just bringing that on just to warm that colour up a little bit. Not a lot, I just want this to look like it's old paper that's sitting on the front of the card. And we're very vanilla to start with, so there we go. And a little bit, let's put this over here, of Sahara sand. Couldn't think what it was called for a minute. And I'm going to concentrate that around the edges. Yep, and I'm trying to hold on to my table so that it doesn't wobble too much. Okay, a little bit more. Go. That's what I want. I want it to look a little bit vintage, a little bit dirty, a little bit aged. And I'm using my cheapy makeup brushes, which I got from Amazon for not a lot of money. And I do like these as a way of ink blending. So that is now ready for the big reveal. So now I can take away my backing paper, and that now looks, don't you think that looks like a piece of torn paper on there? So one more thing, I've got a sentiment. I've chosen this one from this set, which is called To Have and To Hold, which is a lovely set for loving couples of all ages. So I've got a colleague in work who is getting married very soon, and they're both mature people, shall we say. So I'm going to place this bottom third, press down, and I've inked it up with Sahara sand instead of early espresso, but never mind, I think that works. And that is it, simple as that. So there he is, my little Swaptopus. I can't claim credit for the name. My husband came up with that one. And actually, considering I made more than 50 of them, it actually went together pretty quickly. So it's that batch making process that works, where you do one bit and you do all of that, you know, that function, and then you do the next bit, and then you do the next bit, and you do like 50 odd at a time. So yeah, my arm is aching slightly from cranking out 50 octopuses and 100 seaweed fronds, or whatever they are. But you know what, I've survived the process. So I will be posting a video showing what I got on stage, which is the event that I'm going to, and the swaps that I got at my the training day afterwards, which was organised by my upline, who is Sam Donald. So yeah, we've got a Poodlers training day. So that is it for today, and I'll see you again very, very soon, I hope. But for now, thank you very much for joining me, and do come back again, won't you? Bye bye.